Have you ever had the impression that she's waiting for you to ask her out? If so, you may be reading it incorrectly. She's not going to say it directly, but she's hoping you will because of the way she finds excuses to spend time alone with you, or keeps giving you hints about doing something together. The truth is, if you ignore these signs, she may start to question whether you're even interested. But once you know what to look for, it's clear she's giving you the all clear. However, there's one sign that most guys completely ignore, despite the fact that it's the most obvious indication that she's ready for you to take the lead. Stick around, because we're breaking down 10 signs. She's nearly pleading with you to ask her out. Don't pass up 9, it might be the most obvious clue. Have you ever witnessed one? She generates chances for, sometimes you're at a common friend's BBQ and she says, "Let's sit over there, it's quieter." Or you're at the gym and she hangs around the water cooler after your exercise, remarking that you always seem to know the best stretches. Have any advice for me? Younger women who are interested will subtly draw you away from the crowd, opening doors for a more intimate relationship. These moments are not coincidental. It's her way of saying, "I'd like to spend more time with you," without actually saying it. However, she doesn't always use time alone to give you clues. Sometimes, like in the next two, she playfully challenges you, saying things like, "I bet I can outdrive you," or "You look like the kind of guy who still listens to CDs," during a casual coffee chat. These light-hearted challenges are more than simply jokes. They're her method of gauging your self-assurance and fostering an engaging interaction. Psychological playful teasing builds rapport and enables her to assess your ability to handle banter and respond with confidence. Be careful not to underestimate me, as this could lead to a flirtatious back and forth. However, it's not always about playful teasing. Occasionally, her interest lies in the future she's imagining with you. Let's talk about that 3 she met, and she mentions future adventures together. You're talking about hobbies and she says, "I've always wanted to try paddleboarding. Have you ever done it?" Or perhaps you're exchanging travel tales and she adds, "You should join me on a wine tour someday. It's so much fun." These aren't just pointless remarks. When she says, "I've always wanted to check out that rooftop bar," your response should be, "Let's go this weekend." You can tell me if it lives up to the hype. Younger women frequently use future planning as a low-pressure method to see if you'll take the hint and suggest a date by mentioning things she's passionate about. She's inviting you to take the initiative and make those shared adventures a reality. She's obviously interested if she's thinking about the future, but what about the small things she notices about you right now? Let's look at that. In the 4th step, she notices minor changes about you. You arrive at a group yoga class wearing new shoes, and she asks if they're nice kicks or if you've just started running. She also asks if you've been working out more recently, haven't you? These aren't just polite remarks, they are indicators. She is focusing more on you than everyone else. When she compliments you, take it as an opportunity to engage further by saying, "You've got a sharp eye, next time I might need your help." This attention is intentional psychologically and relates to selective attention. When someone notices small changes about you, it's because they're focused on you in a way that most people aren't for her. Finding a nice running trail transforms her observation into a light-hearted request for more time spent together. Paying attention to details is one thing, but occasionally she will go one step further and fabricate situations in which you save the day. Let's talk about that next 5. She poses as though she needs assistance with something basic, like adjusting her playlist or selecting the best coffee at the cafe, but instead she asks what you usually order. "I'm never sure," or perhaps she's attempting to move the chairs at a gathering. Getting together and asking if you could help me with this, it's heavier than I anticipated. This is about establishing a moment of connection, not about the task. Request assistance. Using the reciprocity principle, providing help fosters rapport and creates opportunities for more intimate communication. Pro tip: take advantage of the opportunity to establish a future connection rather than simply solving the issue and leaving. Saying, "I got your back this time, but next time you owe me coffee," keeps the tension low and provides her with a simple opportunity to recommend another. Although these indicators are obvious, we're only beginning to uncover her interest. Don't miss the next 6 behaviors that will show even more. Her behavior suddenly changes. She leans in and asks follow-up questions like how long you were together, or even makes a light-hearted remark like, "So you're back on the market now." Her strong reaction isn't random, rather it's a mix of curiosity and subtle jealousy. She reacts strongly to your relationship mentions when you're sharing stories about a recent weekend and you casually mention an ex or reveal that you're single. This psychologically appeals to a concept known as emotional salience, which states that subjects related to romantic availability inherently attract more attention. She is attempting to assess the situation and gently expresses interest. Now is the time to act. Talk about the future if she's inquiring about your relationship status. For example, "It's been nice focusing on myself, but I'm definitely open to someone who gets me." You've simply given her the opportunity to wonder if I might be that person, but her actions and words aren't the only clues that point to her identity. This is where the next clue, number 7, enters the picture. She gives you thoughtful little presents. These aren't just kind gestures, they're investments. When you casually mention your favorite coffee, she hands you a cup and says, "I remember you like caramel macchiato." Or perhaps she notices a book you've been meaning to read and says, "I saw this and thought of you." Younger women who are interested frequently show their interest in you by thoughtfully acting as though they care about your happiness. Psychologically, this connects to the idea of reciprocal liking, since she is creating a sense of connection with you by providing you with something significant in the hopes that you would respond emotionally. Recognize her work and give her a friendly tease. "Wow, you're indulging me. If this continues, I could start anticipating dessert with my coffee the next time." This keeps the atmosphere light-hearted while allowing for more interactions. But if you think that thoughtful gifts are revealing, wait until you see how she begins to lean into physical cues. For example, she may be sitting next to you at a group dinner and her knee lightly brushes against yours, but she doesn't move it away. Or you may be in line at a cafe and she lightly taps your arm to emphasize a point, saying, "No way you seriously." If she's finding reasons to touch you, she's testing the waters. Touch releases the bonding hormone oxytocin, which is her method of establishing intimacy in a low-pressure manner. Don't be afraid to respond if her touch lingers. Lightly touch her hand as you make a point, or lean slightly closer to demonstrate your receptiveness. The important thing is to mimic her comfort level without going overboard. Unintentional touches are a powerful sign, but keep in mind what I said at the beginning. There's one hint that's so subtle that most guys miss it, and it's the biggest clue of all. The next sign shows that she's not just interested. She's already picturing you in her life 9. She includes you in her stories. For example, she talks about a recent trip and says you'd have loved the beach there. It's totally your vibe. Or perhaps she's discussing her weekend plans and jokingly says you should come next time. It would be fun. This is more than just friendly banter. By incorporating you into her stories, she's indicating that she sees you as a part of her life. This psychological cue, known as inclusion projection, demonstrates that she's already visualizing shared experiences and giving you hints to make it happen. Your move is to playfully call it out, so you're saying, "I'd make a great travel buddy." This not only acknowledges her hint, but also moves the conversation toward possible future plans together. But what if she's doing something even more covert? There's one psychological sign that most people have. It is 10. She mimics your behavior. For example, while you're having coffee, she begins using phrases you frequently use, such as "no way" or "game," and you notice that she matches your energy level or leans in when you do. This is known as mirroring, and it's one of the most telling signs of interest. It's a subconscious way of establishing rapport and connection. By mimicking your actions, speech, or even tone, she's indicating that she feels more connected to you and wants to test it. Try changing your body language or saying something different. If she notices, you'll know that she is interested in more than just being friendly. When you see her mirroring, don't let the time pass. Ask her whether she is mimicking you. Great minds must think similar. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're already detecting things that most guys miss. Tell me, have you ever missed these signs before, or do you believe someone is giving you one right now? It's a light-hearted way to emphasize the connection and keep the conversation interesting. Leave a comment with your ideas and whether you've read this far. To let me know you're watching, type "green light" in the comments section. Stay tuned for the next video, which may disclose even more.